quick, guys, I wanted to talk to you about this. This is an in-garden worm bed. I got this off of Jeff Lawton's page. I mean, it's just a 5-gallon bucket with the bottom cut off and some holes cut around the bottom underneath the soil. And then you buy one of these lids that screws off. I like the screw offs personally. I just think it's a little bit easier on occasion, depending on the day. But then you just fill it with vegetation, put your compost worms in there so that they are continuously putting nutrition into your soil. So you've got bacteria that are fermenting the vegetation on top, leaching those amino acids that we want to feed our plants down into the soil, and then the worms are eating the bacteria and they're eating the fermented veggies as they decompose. I mean, this is a great system, and it's happening all right here in the garden. Look at how healthy the oregano is. It's so healthy. I'm propagating it. I've got a couple. We're doing some layering here. This is serpentine layering, I believe, would be the title of this one, where you lay it down, cover it with dirt, and do multiple spots like this. There's a couple over here. Guys, look at the growth. It's so alive. It's taking over. It's wonderful. I love it. This is parsley, triple curl parsley to be precise, and it is doing very, very well, very healthy. I mean, we can just come out and grab some of this as a decoration on a plate, or to put it in for the mineral content. This is so healthy for you. And we've got some brassicas under here. These are a little guy here I planted after this one, the dinosaur kale, and then the curly kale, the blue scotch. I figured once this one got up and started turning into like a tree, I mean, you guys have seen how big they get, and they usually keep the foliage around the top, then this one will be more towards the bottom as like an understory, but on a smaller scale. So just principles of nature, guys, principles of nature, and we're just incorporating that into our lives. All right, so this is exciting. If you guys know what maypops are, this is passion flower ivy, and the fruit on it is called a maypop, and this covers this fence here, and we use the fruit, the maypops, as kombucha. And this, the maypop, is actually the main ingredient in traditional fruit punch. And guys, if you haven't had it, that's something to have, man. The flavoring that you get when you flavor it with kombucha with it is phenomenal. So, but we can talk about that another day. Right now, I just want to show you a little bit about what's going on here. We've got, if we just pull this away, you can see lots of small insects, and I guarantee you there's just a ton of microbes in there. Lots of organic life going on, happening right down there. I don't see any worms. I put them in there a couple days ago. I usually take a couple out, but remember, they don't live in soil, they live in compost or in vegetation, decaying organic matter. So unless there's decaying vegetation, they're not going to do so well, but they could be all mixed up in here. It's hard to tell. See here, it's looking good though. They're definitely starting to break it down a little bit. Oh, there's one. There they are. There's the guys. There's my buddies. Here we go. Yes, so exciting to see these guys still in here and looking good. Looking good. So yes, please. Oh, there's another one. All right, so we've got some good life in here, and I don't want to mix it up too much, because if you mix it up, it starts to heat up, and we don't want that to happen. And it also causes compaction if you mix things up. But this has so much organic life in it that we really don't have to worry about compaction so much, and there's not a heap of it, so we don't have to worry about it heating up as much. So that's why these worm bins are so foolproof, man. It's like you really can't mess them up. If you get worms in here and put a little horse manure in the bottom, or cow manure, just to have like a bed for them to go to and lay in, maybe put some cardboard or some shredded paper on top of that, and then just keep putting your vegetation in as they break it down, this is the trick, guys. Rock this out if you can do it. All you gotta do is get a bucket and cut the bottom off of it, some holes, and then a couple holes. I put a couple in the top up here just to give them some air, because worms do breathe air. They need oxygen. We need to keep this anaerobic as possible, or aerated, not anaerobic. Anaerobic is a lack of oxygen, so we want to be aerated, not anaerobic. Aerobic. All right, guys. So this is a great way to add fertility to your garden, and not have to do a whole lot of work. Just to show you guys, I've got one just about in every bed here. So I've got one here, and I was going to put one in this bed in front of the rosemary, but I decided to put it under the fig tree, because this is where I put a lot of my tomatoes in here. So, and they can get, at least the one in the middle, I think, can get its roots over to get minerals and nutrition from the bucket as it leaches down into the soil. Tomatoes have really nice root systems underneath the ground that can stretch for at least a couple feet usually, and we know that because we've got hydroponics over here. So we can actually go and lift up the lids
and see the length of the roots if we wanted to, but I don't want to disturb them. So maybe another video, guys. But we also have another bucket right here in this flower bed. So like I said, we've got them everywhere. And if you notice, the growth around here is just phenomenal. I mean, just looks wonderful. The peas are great. We eat a lot of the sprouts off the top, so you know, they look like they've been rabbitized. We've definitely munched on them a few days. It's been going for about, I'd say, a month now of just coming out and getting pea sprouts off the top. Very delicious and very nutritious. So very cool. Thank you so much, Tom with Permaculture Wilmington.